What is up, nerd friends? Welcome back to the Nerd Bench. There has been an update. First and foremost, happy Nerd Year and Merry Hobbydaze. Hope that everybody had a great holiday break and they're ready to kick off the new year in fine RC style. Hobbywing released two new updates, a database update for the app itself as well as the USB link, and now a new firmware as well as the app update for the app itself. In that update, there includes new firmware for the XR8 Pro G3 speed control, a new database for the LCD program box, as well as a new firmware for the LCD program box Pro as well. So we're going to go through, update those, show you what that's all about. It's pretty straightforward. Now, word of warning, before you do any sort of updates, you're going to want to make sure a couple things are in place. Phone's in airplane mode, that's a big deal. Turn your screen lock off completely and make sure that your phone's operating system itself is fully up to date. And of course, you need to make sure the app's up to date. You can go to settings and then about, and that'll take you to the update area that'll show you exactly. You go to settings and about, then about again, and that'll give you your app version as well as your database version there. And also on the Hobbywing website in the Guru Support Center, you can find the information on all the latest apps for phones and the app itself, the speed controls, all that. I'll put a link in the description down below, don't worry. To do speed control firmware, it's pretty straightforward. We're going to connect to a charged battery. We're going to turn the speed control on. The program box is connected to the programming support of the speed control. It is marked on the front so you know the orientation. Once that comes up, you tap the link icon here, and that's going to bring up the list of LCD devices. Mine's called Charlie LCD2, so I pick that, default password, hit OK, and then it jumps right in there. Once you get inside, it's connected now. You can jump on parameters to see your settings, but we're not worried about that. We're going to go to firmware, and in here you'll see that there is a new version available for the speed control. If you can roll back to the old firmware when there's a new release as well, just in case, but we're just going to hit firmware update, and it warns you here, make sure that everything isn't going to go to sleep, all that. Turn your screen lock off, make sure that you're not trying to drive the car or anything weird like that. So hit confirm, and then it starts the process, and we wait patiently. Now, can you see that? There we go. Firmware upgrade successful. Please disconnect, restart the device. That's just telling you that everything's been okay. So we get out of there, and after you do an update, it disconnects, and you got to start the process over to get any tuning. You also want to make sure that you reset your profile, redo your calibration to your radio after you do a firmware update to a speed control as well, because that stuff all kind of goes away. All right, now we're going to walk through how to update the firmware of the actual boxes themselves. You're going to need to connect it to power, so I'm just going to use the same speed control that I had here. Turn that guy on, light comes on, I go over here, I connect to it again, and you would think that all firmwares are going to be located in the firmware update. They're not. To update the devices themselves, you go to settings, then you go to setting of the Bluetooth module, and then here you can update the firmware for the device and the database for the device. So there's two updates for this particular one. First, we're going to go to firmware update. We see that there is a new version available. We're going to tap firmware update. Gives us the same warning from the speed control. Make sure you don't disconnect in the middle of the firmware. Make sure the screen doesn't lock, stuff like that. Hit confirm, and away you go. All right, firmware upgrade successful. So that's going to all disconnect again, as they always do after a firmware update. We're going to reconnect, and we'll jump back into settings, and we're going to go to settings of the Bluetooth module, and now we're going to update the database, and that's the database of the actual box itself, so that when it's in standalone mode, it can do all the standalone operations. You see your current version, your new version, you hit firmware, it gives you that same warning, and away you go. And there we go, because that was a database update. It stays connected because it's just putting more information in there. We back out of here, and we're back to our main screen, and we can then disconnect and power down. So the update for the XR8 Pro G3 applies to some of the reports of shutdown issues from overcurrent sensing and some of the, like maybe what we were mistaking as low voltage problems. So if you've had an XR8 Pro G3 and you've had some of those wonky issues that we weren't able to fix in troubleshooting with tech support, go ahead and check your app and run the firmware update. It should address all of that. If you do have any questions, comments, or concerns, shoot us an email, northamerica@hobbywing.com. We also do a podcast. We give away free stuff each and every episode. All you have to do is look up RC Stuff powered by Hobbywing on your favorite podcast service. Tune into an episode to find out how to enter to win. And as always, folks, thanks for tuning in. Another episode of The Charlie Show, new every Tuesday, right here on the Hobbywing official YouTube channel. We will see y'all next time.